Have you ever watched a basketball play so many times that it starts to feel completely different every time you see it? That's exactly what happened after the Indiana Fever faced the Phoenix Mercury. At first, it looked like another physical WNBA game, but once fans started putting the timeline together, the conversation exploded. It wasn't just about one hard foul anymore. It became a debate about officiating, player safety, and whether one of the league's biggest stars is being protected the same way as everyone else. And when comments made before the game resurfaced, the entire story took another unexpected turn. The game itself started exactly the way basketball fans hoped it would. Caitlin Clark came out aggressive, knocking down shots from deep, attacking the rim, and creating open looks for her teammates. Every possession seemed to remind everyone why she has become one of the biggest attractions in the sport. The Fever offense was flowing through her, and Phoenix had to throw multiple defenders her way just to slow things down. But as the intensity increased, so did the physical play. Every loose ball became a battle, every drive to the basket ended with contact, and neither team showed any interest in backing down. At first, it looked like playoff-style basketball in the middle of the regular season, but then everything changed. During one sequence, Clark ended up on the floor after battling for possession. While players scrambled around her, Alyssa Thomas also went down in the same area. As both athletes tried to get back up, there was significant contact between them that immediately caught the attention of fans watching at home. Many viewers believed the play crossed the line from hard basketball into unnecessary contact. Others argued it happened too quickly to judge in real time. What almost everyone agreed on, however, was the surprising lack of an immediate whistle. Officials allowed play to continue, and the game moved on as though nothing unusual had happened. That decision quickly became one of the biggest talking points of the night. Replays began circulating almost instantly across social media. Fans slowed the footage down frame by frame, pointing to different moments they believed officials should have addressed. Some focused on contact around Clark's upper body. Others pointed to the sequence while she was still on the floor. The debate became even more intense because everyone seemed to see something slightly different depending on the angle. Instead of settling the argument, every replay created new ones. Basketball analysts joined the discussion. Former players shared their opinions, and suddenly a single possession became the center of the entire sports world. The controversy didn't stop there. Later in the game, Clark attempted another shot from beyond the arc and landed awkwardly after defensive pressure affected her landing area. Moments later, she appeared uncomfortable, grabbing at her back during a timeout before eventually leaving the game. That immediately shifted the conversation from officiating to concern over her health. Losing any star player changes a game. Losing the player who had been leading the offense changes everything. Before leaving the floor, Clark had already put together another impressive performance. She was scoring efficiently, creating opportunities for teammates, and helping keep Indiana within striking distance throughout the night. When she headed to the locker room, the momentum noticeably shifted. Phoenix continued to battle. Indiana fought until the final buzzer, and the game ended by only a couple of points. Naturally, many fans wondered what might have happened had Clark remained healthy for the entire contest. While no one can know the answer, the close finish only fueled more discussion. As emotions settled after the final buzzer, the WNBA reviewed the controversial sequence. After examining the play, league officials upgraded the contact involving Alyssa Thomas to a flagrant 2 foul and announced a 1-game suspension. That decision immediately created another wave of debate. For some observers, the suspension proved the league recognized the seriousness of the contact. Others believed 1 game wasn't enough considering the circumstances. Meanwhile, another group felt the punishment matched league rules and should end the discussion. Instead of closing the chapter, the announcement opened an entirely new one. Much of the public conversation also centered around Alyssa Thomas herself. Throughout her career, she's built a reputation as one of the toughest, most physical competitors in professional basketball. Opposing players know every possession against her will be demanding. Supporters see that style as exactly what makes her one of the league's best. Critics, however, believe she occasionally crosses the line between physical and reckless. Because of previous controversial plays involving several different opponents, many fans vie. But the controversy didn't disappear after the league announced its decision. If anything, that's when the conversation reached another level. Fans weren't just debating whether Alyssa Thomas deserved a longer suspension anymore. They started asking a different question altogether. Why did it take a post-game review to recognize something that millions of viewers believed they had already seen live? That's where the officials found themselves under intense scrutiny. During the game, 3 referees had a clear view of the action, yet none of them stopped play to review the contact. The WNBA later upgraded the play to a Flagrant 2 after examining the footage, which immediately raised another debate. If the league determined afterward that the contact deserved the highest level of in-game penalty, why wasn't that conclusion reached while the game was still being played? For Indiana, that timing mattered. Once Clark exited with a back injury, the Fever lost the player controlling nearly every important possession. She wasn't simply scoring points. She was creating opportunities, forcing defensive adjustments, and dictating the pace whenever she had the ball. Every possession after her exit looked noticeably different. The offense slowed, Phoenix became more comfortable defensively, and suddenly a game that felt within Indiana's control became much harder to manage. Of course, basketball games are never decided by one possession alone. Every turnover, missed rebound, defensive breakdown, and coaching adjustment contributes to the final result. But that's exactly why this incident became so controversial. Fans weren't arguing that one foul alone decided the game. They were arguing that losing one of the league's biggest stars after disputed contact fundamentally changed how the remaining minutes unfolded. Social media quickly split into 2 very different camps. One side argued this was simply another example of elite athletes competing at the highest level, where physical basketball has always been part of the game. They pointed out that Alyssa Thomas has built her career by playing tougher than almost anyone else in the league. To them, asking players to suddenly become less physical would change what makes basketball so competitive in the first place. The other side saw something completely different. They believed the combination of missed calls, Clark's injury, and the later suspension suggested officials failed to protect players during critical moments. Many fans questioned whether similar contact involving other superstar athletes would have received a faster response. Whether those comparisons are fair